Hello, welcome back. Ralph's Automotive. Today we're going to be working on a 2008 Ford Edge. The customer complaint is actually just an oil change, but we've got some vibration in the brakes, and I'm going to bring you all along, let you see how I'm going to do this. This is one of my regular customers, so I'm not going to go through the oil change, but we are going to yank the wheels off of it, and I'll show you what I'm going to do to determine what's going on with the brakes. Alright guys, I apologize, I have a massive air leak and I had to switch to the air impact to get the wheel off. But anyway, neither here nor there. What I normally do, is that in the shot? Yeah, it's in the shot. I got a couple of big nuts here that I've used to put against the rotor. Put two of the lug nuts back on and hold that rotor in place. And as you can see here, I set myself dial indicator, and all I got to do now is, without pulling, just rotate the assembly. Okay, so as you can see, that's not quite 1,000. There is no way that this would cause any kind of vibration. Ugh. These rotors here are new. We got them the last time at the O'Reilly, and they've been on there for about 10,000 miles now, and they seem to be doing okay. Same thing here. We'll find us a spot for an indicator. Not rocket science. Put our nuts on. And make sure these are where they need to be. At a 0. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to say that this one here, the pads on the back side here, they're worn out. This was due for brakes anyway, so we're going to do the brakes. I just wanted to do this, bring you all along and show you what I do to check and find a warped rotor. I'm moving on to the other side. Taking the wheel off yet. Customer did tell me that does appear to be happening at a braking event. Okay, find your low here, guys. That's about 3.5. Now that's a possibility. 3.5 is getting in the realm of where it could potentially shake. But to be honest, I still don't think so. Get this camera back around the other side so you follow along. Got this in the shot. I think I'm set at 0 already. When you squeeze it in on these, be careful. That should suck in fairly easily. There shouldn't be no real resistance on it. And there's not. These things are moving real free. I guess I'm just not holding my mouth right today. Hey, that's number 1. See how we can already tell how nice and free them pins are. Again, that's the perks of being in the more southern climate. Again, this is real free, moving really, really easily. Still got some other stuff sitting over there on my service cart that I normally carry around with me. This should be, to be honest, this should be the same thing than that sport track we did the other day. Metal piston. We'll make sure that we clean all this up. Face of the piston, backside. These are starting to get stuck a little bit. So, okay, had a little bit of a delay there, and the reason for it is I figured I'd go ahead and check. I know I can get all the stuff, but these rotors on this thing are fairly pricey, and being it's in the rear, if they're not too thin already, I'm going to go ahead and have them cut. And we'll verify and make sure that they run right after they cut them. This is not that I don't trust them, but I really don't want to spend the time having to do it. It's cheaper for me to have them do it. I suggest you're doing this at home, don't discard the brake hardware just yet. Leave it in there. That way there's going to be no question for you as to how it goes back. We clean them up where the hardware sits, the grooves, clean all that up, get it greased up. We'll just do it on the bench. No biggin', we'll just do the whole thing on the bench. This is all still factory. Brakes have never been replaced on this thing, and I've got enough miles. Actually, the bolts are pretty loose. At least the bracket itself was on there real good. Of course, these here also have the built-in parking brake that doesn't get used, at least not around here. I made the claim a while ago, these are originals. Maybe the camera will see that. Yeah, right here, Ford Motor Company, these are original rotors. And don't see that too often. These here are not marked. Normally the rotors are always marked for minimum thickness, but don't see it on here. So I'll have to fire up all data real quick and get our minimum thickness and measure them out. 653 is the minimum thickness that we're allowed to machine to, and we're at 700 right now. And by the looks of these here, there's no deep grooves. It's relatively even. This one should be good to be cut. Knock the other one loose, get it measured. Clean that up here in a minute. .701, really even. Okay. Whoops. God almighty. So as I said earlier, if you're not familiar with how that goes together, you may take 5 and study it on your caliper bracket. You may take 5 and study it. If you don't know how that goes together, see, just pay attention how you do it. So if you look at these, it actually doesn't matter because one side is identical to the other, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go in here and clean all this up. I'm not going to pull these out. I normally would. They got the right amount of drag on it. I know they have grease. I can feel it. They move really, really easily. Anything you got put on it, it'll be fine. Whoop. Mean to make a mess. Get them lined up, push back, pull back, and push down at the same time. It's opposite. I had to think about that for just a second. I'm going to throw the pads in there. Check your pads. You see that? Get the camera up here on it. Identical. So, doesn't matter where you put them. The key thing here is to make sure that these slide in there really easy. and they do. They're sliding really free. There you go, guys. Got one of them loaded. Got a little time to kill. Not that anybody really needs a video on how to do an oil change, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So I just went up with the truck, car, whatever you want to call this thing. It's actually a truck, but anyway. I'm going to go ahead and drain the oil out and change the filter right here in the front. FL400S Motorcraft. I try to use whatever filter goes in it. GM, AC Delco, Motorcraft on a Ford, and so on, you know. If they're available, readily available to me, you know, I try to use whatever the manufacturer is. But try not to make a mess here. Pay attention to what I'm doing. Yeah, like I said, I always try to use the filter that the manufacturer put on there. And once this is drained and I get that filter changed out, normally what we would do if we're not messing with brakes and wheels and all that good stuff, what we would do now is while this is draining, check the air and the tires, you know, and we would normally go through the rest of the vehicle and kind of inspect everything, make sure everything is in good condition. I've already pulled on the wheels a little bit and all that good stuff. This is regular customer of mine. I know the car inside and out. Or here I go again with the car. I know the truck inside and out, so I'm not going to get too wild about checking everything else. You know, we checked the major stuff earlier, and we're going to leave it at that. So in the shop, we always try to maximize our time. So everything really should be flowing 1, 2, 3, not 3 and 2 and then 1, you know. And speaking of maximizing, I really should have used my big drain catcher, whatever you want to call that thing, and I should have already had that filter loose. I'm not that worried about it. Like I said, I got a little bit of time to kill. I took the rotors off. I'm going to have somebody else cut them, or well, not somebody else. They're going to be cut at the parts store, and I gotta wait for them anyway until I go any further with this, so I'm not too worried about it. Oh man. This thing here probably wouldn't be a good candidate to go up north because it doesn't have any oil leaks. Should really be wearing gloves to do this kind of stuff. All these chemicals on your hands, I'm sure is not good for you. And to be honest, I just always end up forgetting. I get sidetracked, do something else. This is not good for you. It's just like wearing safety glasses, you know. You just really should get into a habit of doing it. Guess I could show you this. This is a FL400S. And go ahead and put it on. And no, not once in the 36, 7 years I've been doing this here, I've never lubricated an O-ring in case somebody is going to go irate on not lubricating the O-ring. Don't need to. No need in it. There's enough lubrication already on the rim where it sits. I want to come back down. This is a good time to wash off the parking brake system. Get some emery cloth, crocus cloth, whatever. Give it a quick sanding. Knock the glaze off if it has it. This one here I'm going to use, they got nothing. Put some fluid film down on the hub right there, and that's it. Same thing on the other side. Not going to film it though. So got our rotors back. $688. So they've only removed like 12 thousandths off the rotor. I knew they wasn't, like I said earlier, they wasn't bad. I did forget to tell you something that I might want to add in there. You know, we checked the rotors earlier with the indicator on the front face. Now, it is a possibility, however so slight, you can get a hot spot in the backside. That is a possibility. That rotor can actually have a slight warp in the backside without affecting the front too much. That is a possibility, just something to keep in mind. We need to rough these up a little bit on over here, the parking brake surface. So, rough these up. You already know they don't get used, but get you around, same process. Bolt your caliper bracket back on. Oop. We could have put a little bit of Loctite on there. It'll be okay though. Make sure you tighten them bolts up real good. I guess something to say, do see people, right, wrong, don't know, don't care. Just going to throw that in there. You do see sometimes people lubricate the hardware on the outside. I don't. All that does is trap debris, dust, dirt. It'll trap it. It'll stick to it. I don't do that. That brake dust will blow off from the wheel spinning, creating air, an air vortex in there. So I do mine dry on the outside. Just lubricate the inside so it doesn't rust. That was the whole point there. I'm gonna clean that caliper face off a little bit. Thing don't weigh nothing. Not gonna hurt the hoses. Put a little lube on it. Oop, probably not a good idea to do it like that. Same on the inside. Make sure that piston all the way in. Oh yeah, piston is so free, I just pushed that by hand. That's good, so we know that it is nice and free. The bolts back in here. Give it a good tug. Don't go crazy on those. They're not that big of a bolt. Guys, again, only going to do the one side. It's easy to turn. At this point in time, we can remove the plug right here. It's a rubber plug. We can remove it, and the adjuster is up here. It's on the top of it. Adjust your brakes to your liking. If you're going to use your emergency brake, adjust it to your liking and you're good to go. Guys, I'm going to cut it off right here. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up, thumbs down, like always. You know, subscribe if you haven't done so already. I appreciate everybody subscribing. You know, like the video, dislike it, whatever. Give me your opinions. Leave me a comment. Thanks for watching. Till next time.